everybody. Hello, good evening, happy Friday night, happy weekend. It is here and I am fully manifesting a new goalkeeper for Manchester United. Yes, I am. I'm all green. I'm in the new green kit. It's the short version, no, short sleeve version, not the long. Hate the long sleeves. God, hate them shirts. But yeah, manifesting Manchester United, bringing in a new goalkeeper. I'm doing everything I possibly can here on Forever United TV to make this happen. I brought you the news earlier on about SENNE Lammens potentially not coming to Manchester United from Sky Sports. Well, this afternoon, thank God, it has actually accelerated into the positives. And SENNE Lammens is all but done, according to some people anyway. But this is now moving forward at an accelerated speed. And do you know what? Pace even, I was supposed to say then. I'm going to bring you all of the updates, all the news around that, to bring you up to date on the bomb squad and who's left and what's happening with Antony and Jadon Sancho as well. The rumours from Ruben Amorim's press conference. That embargo version is going to be an interesting one, isn't it, at 10:30 tonight? Because it was only 4 minutes worth earlier on. I had a feeling that's why we didn't do anything this lunchtime for the Ruben Amorim press conference. But still, when you look at it, he did say a lot in such a short space of time. So yeah, let's get into all the news. Let's get through everything, then we'll get to that Ruben Amorim press conference as well later on. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you're all doing well. Get your comments in the live chat, please, everybody. Get your thoughts across, and let's get into everything that's actually happening. And we're starting with SENNE Lammens because this afternoon, thankfully for us Manchester United fans, we are moving forward with this deal. Now, earlier on, I did a video talking about the potential of we know Onana is not going to leave. We know this. West Ham have turned down the option or an offer for him to be loaned out to West Ham. No one even wants to take him on loan, let alone buy the guy. Why would you want to buy him? So yeah, Onana's going to be staying. So Manchester United are going to bring in a fourth goalkeeper. And that is now going to be, by the looks of it, the number one goalkeeper. So even after everything that was said throughout the summer, a goalkeeper coming in to challenge Andre Onana, he had a challenge. Mainoo started the last 3 Premier League games, and Onana just had to deal with Grimsby. Failed miserably, of course, and I think it's been well documented about Manchester United looking all over the globe for a new goalkeeper. It is now thought that Ruben Amorim is hell-bent on bringing a new goalkeeper into Manchester United. SENNE Lammens, after what Sky said, and the chance that, because Galatasaray came in, no definite concrete club-to-club agreement yet between United and Antwerp or the player in personal terms. At this moment, SENNE Lammens is training away on a personal programme in complete knowledge of what is going on. So there is a understanding at Antwerp that SENNE Lammens is never going to play for them again, and this sale is going to go through. He didn't play in the last game, he was left out, and he's now out of training and doing his own personal plan. Everything is leading towards preparation for a full agreement on the signing of SENNE Lammens, and Manchester United, according to sources, are getting close. In fact, one report reads today, Royal Antwerp and Manchester United had an agreement on a fee, but Antwerp pushed last minute for more. Now United are prepared to go all in and pay the price, with the final package expected to be around 25 to 27 million euros for the goalkeeper, just over 20 million quid for Manchester United to pay for another goalkeeper. Talks today have been accelerating fast, and both clubs are pushing towards completion. Now that was the update earlier on. We do have other updates on this from bigger sources as well. Sky again have come out and said that Antwerp is confident in selling SENNE Lammens to Manchester United. The talks have accelerated recently. Yes, that again, another story that has come out today. And then another one here. SENNE Lammens is following an individual programme in consultation with parties. That's the logical decision, since this could be the major outgoing transfer. We want to minimise the risk of injuries. So that was the Royal Antwerp manager talking there, Stef Verls, saying that he is not going to feature for them now. A big transfer for them, a big fee for them, and obviously they don't want to ruin the chances of that transfer going through. So he is away from the normal team. He's not with the first team squad, and all roads lead to Old Trafford. Galatasaray not on the cards. Player preference very clear. They came in, they spoke to him, they offered him decent wages, they offered Antwerp a better package. This is why Antwerp have come in on the last few days and said they want more. It's had to be renegotiated, but Manchester United right now are in a position where they haven't got a leg to stand on because they need a new goalkeeper, and I think Antwerp have just taken advantage of everything that's happening, and in the last few days I've managed to get a little bit more out of Manchester United, and that's now where it's pushing. It's just the state of this football club that's really given Antwerp the chance to go and get more money from this transfer fee, and I think that's probably what most clubs would do in this situation. United look desperate right now, so yeah, but it does look like this is now moving forward, and United are going to be bringing in another goalkeeper. So, yeah, really good news for Manchester United. Do you think that SENNE Lammens is the right goalkeeper? Get into the comment section, everybody, please. Talk to me on this one. We have got all of the updates on the other Bomb Squad players and the Rasmus Hojlund update coming up for you as well shortly. But get into the live comments section. I'm going to go there in a minute and give you a chance to have your say on this. But I think after, obviously, the first 3 games of the season, this had to happen for Manchester United. There was no way that they could carry on going forward with just Bayende and with Onana for Manchester United. Basically, them 2 goalkeepers for this football club over the last season. Look, we don't need to go into detail. We know exactly what they are. And United, again, I couldn't understand it all the way through the summer, and I said this so many times, United cannot do this. United need a new goalkeeper. It's important. We know the midfielder situation is sparse, and we need a new midfielder, but I would rather have Kobbie Mainoo, Agate playing next to Bruno Fernandes at any particular time, or Casemiro, than having Bayende and Onana playing for my team. Yes, the midfield needs sorting, but in terms of the priority, the quality in goalkeeper at Manchester United compared to what we've got that we're not fully happy with, but quality in midfield we've got, midfield's better. We just need to change something up system-wise to adapt that, but you cannot stop goalkeepers being shit. That basically is where we're at right now. So United have made the decision. They're all in. And Onana this week has made Manchester United put the foot on the pedal. And like the talks have said, press the accelerator, go full throttle and get this over the line. SENNE Lammens is going to be a Manchester United player. He's going to be the latest goalkeeper to hopefully stake a claim and stay in them goals for United without any dramas. We will see, obviously, but that's why I'm coming to the comment section now. I want to hear your thoughts on SENNE Lammens. Are you happy with this deal? Do you think that is the right deal for Manchester United? The right way to go forwards? This type of goalkeeper, not going out buying the established goalkeeper that a lot of people thought was the right move? Is it buying a cheaper option for United right now? Super chat straight in from Sub N says, before we sack Amorim, Dalot has to leave the club. He has been a constant across multiple managers now. Onana will go to Saudi after the window ends. I hope he does. I really do hope he does. We may be talking about the team later on, but we'll talk about what Ruben said in the press conference and maybe bring that up actually on that one. But thanks for the super chat, Sub N, mate. Right, come on. Adam, Lammens won't even play, so it's irrelevant. Onana will keep his place. The club is too cowardly to drop him. Mate, I completely disagree. There's no way that Ineos are going to spend money now and not bring this keeper in. He will play. If they play Andre Onana at weekend, Ruben can say goodbye to his job instantly. They're not going to do it, mate. That's pretty much summed everything up in the week. Onana is never going to play for this team again. He cannot play for this team again. He is not good enough. And if you're going to invest 20 plus million in a goalkeeper right now, he's going to go in. Because United are desperate. This is the last throw of the dice, really. They can't get any other goalkeeper in. And they need this keeper to come in and work. It's a lot of pressure for a young goalkeeper that's never played in the Premier League before as well. So, that in mind also, you have to, I think, probably give this keeper, SENNE Lammens, a little bit of time to adapt. A little bit of time to actually get used to playing in the Premier League and the robustness, the physicality, the speed, the quality of striker. Let's not forget that. He's never come up against anything like this. So, again, it is still a little bit risky that you've not gone for the ready-made goalkeeper here. But we kind of did with Andre Onana last time, and that didn't work for United. Proven Champions League player. played all right before at Ajax and Inter, although there were some calamities in them clubs as well for him, which we didn't look into too much. Too late now. But, yep, 47 million on Andre Onana. We've done this before. We went down this road and it didn't work for United. So I think with this player being scouted so much, SENNE Lammens that is, then I think United feel more confident in buying this keeper in than going for the big guns like a Martinez and splashing the cash on him or Donnarumma with the big wages. I just don't think they can take a chance. Lammens could have one hand tied behind his back and won't do any worse than our two goalkeepers, says Mike. I think a lot of people are just happy to get another goalkeeper in, someone who might actually be capable. JM, thank you for the super sticker or super chat, whatever that is. No comment on it, but thank you again. If we get Lammens, then Grimsby is a blessing in disguise. If we have to drop out of the Carabao Cup to lose Andre Onana, then it's better for the long term. Will United push Onana out the door now? Like Sub N said in the super chat just a moment ago. Will he be pushed out the door to the Saudi Pro League with that being open? If Onana knows he's not going to play for the rest of the season now, because there's no chance of rotation, because all we've got is the Premier League, all the way up to January, and January he's in AFCON. I think Onana now has to look elsewhere. Him and Bayındır maybe looking at trying to steal a move away to the Turkish league. That could be interesting for Bayındır and why Manchester United are buying a goalkeeper. Obviously, their transfer windows, I think, shut on the 11th and 12th of September. So another 2 weeks yet for the Turkish and Saudi Pro League transfer windows. So that could be interesting. Bayındır, obviously native of that country, and there have been offers there apparently for Bayındır already that he just hasn't liked. If he's not playing football, one of these two goalkeepers, I think, will end up going after the European window shuts. I think it's inevitable that at least one will go. Hopefully, it is Andre Onana, because it saved United a lot of money. I'm praying that a Saudi Pro League team comes in and just offers United a minimal fee, and we can maybe break even with what we owe on him. And then, obviously, we can shift his wages off the book. And that paves the way for Lammens to come in. I actually feel like now, after Onana kicked off and kicked up a stink because he wasn't playing against Fulham, then dropping them clangers, and he's going to get no relief from this fan base at all. I tell you right now, I know Man United fans that are talking to me, people messaging me, I've had conversations with Kaz, everyone's saying exactly the same thing. If Ruben Amorim picks Andre Onana to play against Burnley tomorrow, then he is going to lose his job. He's going to lose all of the faith in the fan base. Nobody will be on his side or be sympathetic for anything that he comes out and says regarding these players not turning up, speaking with their feet, whatever it is he says in his post-match and pre-match interviews or press conferences. No one cares. You're the one who's deciding to play him. And if you play him again after what he just did in costing us this Carabao Cup, because it was him who cost it us. Yes, everyone was crap, but he couldn't do the basics against Grimsby. Then I think Amorim is a dead man walking. I really do. And with this fan base baying for blood right now, the worst thing that Ruben Amorim could do is put Andre Onana in goal tomorrow. It would end him. It would end him. Robbie says Onana will play tomorrow. It'd be suicide. It really would. Let's just see what else we've got in here. Comment-wise, trying to bring out a few here just on this one. Why aren't the fans protesting in front of Onana's house? That's the only, is that supposed to say, way he will leave? That's not going to happen in England anyway. That's fair points. I'd take losing out to Grimsby in the League Cup for Onana to never play for this team again. I'll be surprised if we have 30 points by Christmas, says Nigel. Why did we sell Dean Henderson? Poor decision again. Another Manchester United Academy graduate that left the club to do better. It's a sorry state of affairs, isn't it? The amount of players that we keep bringing up that are doing better elsewhere, but you need to be a certain calibre to handle what Manchester United are. I think this football club has just got lost in the expectation levels and tried to buy its way out to a point where we've got no money left. And this is where we are now, where we're trying to find deals and sell players just to make other transfers happen. And without European football, this is what United will always be doing. They'll turn into a selling club because they have to. And that's the only way that we'll survive. We need European football. We need to be back. And if we're not at a certain point in the table by a certain time of the season, then Manchester United will fire Ruben Amorim. They will. They'll have to, because the pressure will be too much. Playing Andre Onana, you're sacking yourself. Sacking yourself instantly. A few more comments on Lammens, please, everybody. If you want to get in and tell me if you're impressed with the signing, do you think it's going to be good enough for Manchester United? Any manager will know that Onana is the worst keeper we have, and if Amorim picks, then he has to go. It has to be Heaton or Bainday tomorrow. Stick Onana on the plane, destination anywhere. Yeah. And there was a snitch, wasn't there? He had some issues behind the scenes. I think he sort of buried himself at United with certain interviews. I remember them coming out. Heaton has to be put in. If he wets the bed too, Amorim can't be blamed. None of these keepers are his. It's a good point, right, actually, yeah. To get away with it, it doesn't really matter, does it? It won't matter because they're not your goalkeepers. It's what everyone would say. Cal says that European football is not happening with this central midfield, with one central midfielder, the players, and two systems. No central midfield, no Europe, simple as. With this goalkeeper, no Europe either. Still a bigger problem in my opinion, and it's been proved so this season already. See. Look, we're not dead. We're in a difficult time and we have to go through it. Poor recruiting of players who felt they'd made it, so couldn't perform, puts us in this spot. Not enough fight or passion. Not enough fight or passion. Or leadership. A lot of people would say it's all on Ruben Amorim now. Well, it is with the players that he's picking. And that's a clear one, isn't it? Okay. Let's see what we've got in here before we move on. Right, yes, moving on with the Bomb Squad players. That is your goalkeeper update. Please keep your comments coming in on the goalkeeper side of things. And obviously, get your thoughts in on who you think should be playing for United tomorrow in goal. And will Lammens make a massive difference? Get into that, please, everybody. Moving into other news, and we've been waiting for the update on Rasmus Hojlund. But did you see the story earlier on today? And I don't think it'll happen anyway, because Leipzig are not in the Champions League. But RB Leipzig have entered the race for Rasmus Hojlund and has made a better offer than Napoli to Manchester United. They are pushing hard. That's come from Sky Sports. And an Italian source as well, also on top of that. I still don't think this will happen because it's Rasmus Hojlund who is realistically in charge of this transfer. He doesn't want to go to Leipzig. If RB Leipzig can convince Rasmus Hojlund to go to them, well done them. But he wants to be playing regular football. He wants to be part of a project that has him on a longer contract. Napoli have offered all of this. I've no idea what Napoli have offered. I don't think it's going to be too much more than what Napoli have in terms of... I don't know what Leipzig have offered. I don't think it's going to be too different to Napoli and what they've offered. But I just don't see this. Now, Romano said the deal was agreed 2 days ago. I can't see this story. It's not had any more traction from when it broke earlier on in the day. I think it's just someone putting some stories out there because we haven't had the full... This is done, but we know that it's just a tiny little detail on Rasmus Hojlund's side. We even went with the double here we go last night because Romano said that everything was agreed. So I can't see anything happening with Rasmus Hojlund. I've not seen any bids come in or anything significant since this news broke. So if they are, then good luck to him. But I don't see anything changing. He looks like he's set for Napoli and he has negotiated hard in what he wants. And so I don't think he's going to give up on that right now. And Leipzig have got no European football. Why would you go to Germany to play no European football when you've got Italy on the cards, who are fighting for the Scudetto, who are going for every single trophy that they're in the Champions League as well? It's Napoli. He isn't going to go anywhere else. I don't think so at this point. So, again, the news of Leipzig coming in, I don't see that carrying any weight. And going forward, I don't think we are going to see anything happen with Rasmus Hojlund going anywhere but Napoli. But yeah, I mean, look, I just want this deal done now. I want as many deals done as possible so Manchester United can invest. And like we said this morning, Manchester United, according to Indy Kelly, are actually desperately hunting a new midfielder. He wants a new midfielder. Manchester United wants a new midfielder, but there are no targets there at the moment. That's all anybody keeps on saying right now. Nothing is there. No one is available for Manchester United. They wanted Baleba and he isn't available. Hojlund again talking about him. He actually did say though, look, if you come in with 100 million, I give you that. People start talking when 100 million is bid. And apparently Hojlund has said that. I haven't heard it, but I've seen a report on it earlier on. That could be a number that Brighton listened to. We will see. We will see what they listen to. I'm never fully convinced by anything that's said in the by managers. It's the owners that will make the final decision. The manager will be informed. He will give his verdict on it. But Hojlund has already said, look, we are a selling club and we know this is how we operate. But their plan is to have him still in their team for one more season. So, look, if you go in and you go and bid over 100 million, you might get Brighton to the table. But I think we've left it too late. I do. We're into the last weekend of the transfer window, for God's sake. It's over at this time on Monday morning. So on Monday afternoon, evening. So I don't think there's enough time to turn it around. The more and more the days go by at the moment, the more I don't think there is going to be another midfielder that comes in. On Antony and Jadon Sancho, before we move on to Ruben Amorim and Kobbie Mainoo again, I want to talk about the updates on Antony and Jadon Sancho, because Antony apparently, some sources are actually saying that there's an agreement in place for dual ownership of Antony. Now, we've done a full video on this weeks ago. I think it was over a month ago, in fact. They want to own part of Antony. It's complicated, it is, but it's commonplace and common practice in transfers within La Liga and Serie A, where both clubs would own a part of the player, and then a following season, the club that's have him in their squad would pay a little bit more to own a little bit more of the rights. But at the moment, as it stands, United taking a small fee and then still owning half of Antony in case he's sold on again. I think what will happen here is that it's just like a posh way of doing transfer instalments, and it's a way that Real Betis will get around the financial restrictions in La Liga. That's what I've read into anyway on this. It's just a clever way of moving it, and it's a very, very popular way over there to get around. It's like a little loophole within their financial barriers around transfers in La Liga. So this is what they're trying to push. It would just be a case of like, first season, United get a small fee, Betis are taking his wages, and then next summer they pay a bit more to own a bit more, and then they pay a bit more to own a little bit more. But if he sold within any time of them owning him onto anybody else, Manchester United will still take a big chunk as well out of that. It's just a different way of buying a player through instalments, but one that meets the criteria to beat the financial traps that are set by La Liga for their teams. And it's not worth looking into too much. It's just a case of you're not going to get all the money up front. You're going to have the player off your books, though, and he's going to be paid for elsewhere wage-wise. And you've got a little bit of money, but you still own part of him if he's sold on. So he's still your player, as much as he is a Betis player, but you're not paying his wages. It's like a loan, but they have bought some of the rights. Minefield, but pretty straightforward if you read it. I'm not going to go into it now, but it does look like Antony's going Betis. It doesn't look like this is going to affect anything that Manchester United can do with buying a midfielder either. So it's important that Antony's gone, and that's another member of the bomb squad out of the way, but it's not going to do anything for us and what we want, which is another player coming in for Manchester United. So that gets a little bit sticky and complicated as you look into it. But Antony gone is probably the biggest thing you can take from this. That's it. And he is going to end up going Betis. There's no one else at the table right now. And we have only got, like I said, the 3 days left of the window. So I expect Antony to be signing for Real Betis. Antony's actually moved out of his home, his mansion, and he's in a 4-star airport hotel at the moment, waiting for this to happen so we can go quickly. I think that's through word of both clubs. You're best just being ready to go for when we agree this deal. So when they do finally agree it, on your bike, son, on a plane, away you go, and it will be wrapped up very, very quickly. but pretty much will not be seeing Antony at Carrington or at Old Trafford again unless he's playing there for Betis. That's a big shout because United are out of Europe, obviously, because we're crap. But, yeah, Antony, done. Near enough, anyway. 5 gifted memberships from Andrew. What a legend. Friday night bombshell from Andrew himself. Cheers for that, buddy. Make sure you do put a big thank you in the live chat, everyone, if one of them memberships has gone to you. Box Sport says with a super chat, Fergie adapted to opponents. Amorim's too rigid. Play the squad strengths until he gets the players to fit his system. It's not working right now. I don't think it will continue to work. I don't think it will work going forward, I should say, because that rigid sort of stubbornness within Ruben Amorim is good elsewhere, but under the lights, spotlights, and the pressure, scrutiny, and everything that is Manchester United, you are going to get absolutely slaughtered. And I think he is being slaughtered right now, Ruben Amorim. The fact that he only did a 4-minute press conference today, near enough, tells you everything, doesn't it? That is worrying. Jadon Sancho and the updates on Jadon Sancho. Where are we at with this one? Again, Pete Hall reporting, Manchester United journalist, saying that Roma are still targeting Jadon Sancho before the Monday transfer window shuts, despite his previous refusal, preparing a more tempting offer. We did touch on this the other day. Roma are not giving up on Jadon Sancho. He's got what he wants. He's got someone who is really wanting to go above and beyond and get him. Dortmund have said no. Juventus have cooled off interest. Inter have moved away from it and looking at other options. He's got Roma, or he waits it out to see what happens with Turkey and Saudi again over the next couple of weeks. But Jadon Sancho is running out of bomb squad mates in the changing rooms to take pictures with, because obviously we spoke earlier on, Tyrell Malacia looks like he is heading out on loan. Antony is also heading out soon, like we've just described, to Real Betis. Jadon Sancho will be the only member of the bomb squad left. And Roma are going to offer him more money, apparently, according to Pete Hall. So watch Jadon Sancho to Roma carefully over the weekend. Something could happen with Sancho. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that one, just to make sure that we are there ready to go when Jadon leaves, because I will be getting everything out party-wise, poppers, bunting, light the candles, blow them out, like full celebration mode when this clown leaves this football club, honestly. That, I think, is a big one for United. But, yeah, Roma still pushing on Jadon Sancho and trying to get him over to Italy with a more lucrative offer on personal terms, by all accounts. So let's see what that is. If not, like Sky Sports have said over the last 2 days, there could be a chance where Jadon Sancho is still a United player after Monday evening when the deadline shuts, or deadline day closes. That's because he's got options for Turkey and the Saudi Pro League. He will be gone. He will be gone. Thankfully, anyway. On to Ruben Amorim and Kobbie Mainoo. There has been so many debates going around today. I said my piece this morning. No need to go in any further. Everyone's been talking. I heard an argument between Alex Crook and Troy Deeney on TalkSport earlier on. Troy Deeney saying, just get your head down and play. He was just as crap as everybody else last season. There's no rights. He's got no rights to come out and say he should be playing after United's worst ever season. A lot of people will look at it that way. A lot of people are using this to blame the club and throw more hate towards Manchester United's owners. Look, the Glazers created the mess because they're the ones that were giving the big wages that players are on now, that Kobbie Mainoo is using as a yardstick for what he wants from Manchester United in terms of his wages. Really interesting piece earlier on. I'm just going to read this out so you're aware of what we're actually dealing with, and then I'm going to get into Ruben Amorim's quotes from the press conference earlier on. I'm expecting some bombs to be dropped in the half 10 embargoed version. So Kobbie Mainoo's situation, Kobbie Mainoo's agency right now. So this is the situation here. Earlier on today, Andy Mitten of the United We Stand fanzine and Athletic said Manchester United's view is that Kobbie Mainoo needs to work hard, fight for his place and prove the coach wrong. That's Manchester United's stance on this. They're not budging. This is going to get awkward over the weekend. And I said in the morning show, a decision needs to be made. CAA Stellar, the agency that represents Kobbie Mainoo, and this is a write-up on them, an absolute nightmare. It's opinion-based, clearly. A nightmare to work with. This is similar to Dean Henderson, same agency as Dean Henderson. When he was at United, his reps constantly caused issues at the club and leaked stuff to the press. They'll continue to do this season if he doesn't get a move, this being Kobbie. Their main reason he hasn't signed a new deal, they're the main reason he hasn't signed a new deal, because they want him to be paid £200,000 a week. Kobbie absolutely wants to stay at Manchester United long term. He is a Man United fan, but the reps are in his ear about needing to play regular to start for England in the World Cup. Mainoo was poor last season, so was everyone. He still needs to work and develop before being a guaranteed starter for Manchester United. Just to break down the sort of opinion and word around the ownership of Kobbie Mainoo, or the representation of Kobbie Mainoo. This is the problem, and this is the one I've been talking about all the time. I love write-ups like that because it just puts everything in perspective and it adds a bit of context to what's going on. Andy Mitten has also come out and said that Kobbie Mainoo has turned down several new contract offers at Manchester United this season. If he wants to be at Manchester United long term, then not accepting new contracts, he's effectively running his contract down to a point where Manchester United are going to have to give him what he wants to keep him, or they end up losing him for nothing. And that will be the agency's eyes. I don't think that's Kobbie Mainoo. I'm judging a character here without knowing him personally or anything like that, I know, but he just doesn't come across that way, Kobbie, as a trouble causer. He really doesn't, and I'm praying that I'm right on that. I'm praying that I am absolutely bang on the money, because I don't want Kobbie to be a Garnacho. I'm pretty certain that he's not. He's not that man. He's not that type of person. But he's not accepting contracts. So I'm thinking about this, and in my head I'm going, right, Kobbie Mainoo now wants to play game time so he can earn his contract. He's now not getting that game time under Ruben Amorim at the start of this season. So he is kicking up a stink and wanting to move. Not kicking up that much of a stink, but it is now, because we're 3 days left in the transfer window and he wants out. He wants to go on loan. Loan doesn't get United anybody else in because we're not getting any money for him. And it's a player that doesn't want to be at Manchester United right now under Ruben Amorim. So it is a stink because of them reasons. And United have to try and play on with this and deal with this. And I said this morning, one bad egg out of a whole batch there is going to turn everything sour. It's going to turn everything negative at Manchester United. And this is what will happen. Ruben Amorim, in a way I said it earlier on, I don't want him to play him because it looks like he's had to bow down to the pressure. I want him to play him because I want Kobbie to stay and fight for his place like every other player. I don't want the mentality of Kobbie Mainoo to be affected. And I said it earlier on, there's no guarantee. And people saying, oh, he only wants a loan. He wants United still, and that's commendable. Well, it's not really. You're about to ditch us in our hour of need, mate. And unfortunately, we can't get money to replace you. And he knows this. This is why he wants to go on loan. And he thinks, I feel, if he goes on loan, by the time he comes back, Ruben won't be here. But what if Ruben is here? What if Kobbie leaving makes United go and buy somebody else and they do better without Kobbie Mainoo? And then he's going to come back, and guess who's going to still be there? Ruben Amorim, who will have seen the player's character and never bleeding play him. Oh, by the way, that will be another year gone on his contract and only 1 year left. And then we drop into the situation where Kobbie Mainoo then isn't accepting a new deal from Manchester United because Ruben's there. And Kobbie Mainoo, who wants to be at Manchester United his whole career and still wants to be there in the long run, he's running out of contract. And someone will come and take him away for free. That's the shitstorm that could actually be brought up from this Kobbie Mainoo situation. This is why the reports are going on behind the scenes about United desperately on the hunt for a midfielder. They need somebody else to come in. They cannot afford to lose Kobbie Mainoo because he is a number and he will be used and he will get game time this season. It's just not to his liking. I think there's more to it, and Kobbie is in the fallout category with Ruben Amorim. He doesn't think he's going to play enough to get in the England squad. And he wants to go and get a loan somewhere else. Every single club across the globe would be looking at Kobbie Mainoo on loan and would want to take Kobbie Mainoo on loan. Guaranteed. It's a really, really awkward position for United to be in now, and I don't know the best way out of it apart from either Kobbie being sold or Ruben Amorim leaving. Someone else coming in and working a system that fits Kobbie in a bit more frequently. But like I said earlier on today, I backed up my argument against Kobbie Mainoo just to balance things out with the stats from last season. In the 19 starts he made in the Premier League last season, United only won 4 games. So he is performing just as bad as everybody else is. He's part of this squad of players which have been labelled, quite rightly, stats and facts-wise, the worst Premier League team in Manchester United's history. He is one of them. So, in United's eyes, if someone comes in with a massive bid, I think Kobbie goes. I think they sell him. I think this is just a cover-off. Like, United saying they don't want to sell him is because they haven't got a midfielder. But if someone comes in with big money, I don't think United are going to be too bothered about selling him on. I really don't. I think United will try and make do by putting Mason Mount in midfield or something like that. That's what I believe in. I don't think they're too concerned by it. And they're really putting the boat... they're putting the ball in Kobbie Mainoo's court here, I think, now. And it's going to be really interesting to see what comes back from this embargo press conference from Ruben Amorim later tonight, because I think there's going to be some more interesting quotes, because we got a small snippet of Ruben Amorim earlier on today. Wasn't a very long press conference at all. And the media waited around probably, I'm guessing, about an hour. He walks in, 4 minutes worth to write up about and put out. And I don't know how long the rest of the press conference would have been, but definitely not worth writing about. But we're going to go through them quotes in a minute. We're going to see what you think from it. Sancho says Mainoo was told to fight for his position with Bruno. Bruno, a player who never gets dropped. Ruben, who has a love affair with Bruno. Yep, he did. And that was the defence of Kobbie this morning. But it's only 2 games. And he played Bruno and Kobbie together in the second half against Grimsby. And no one's picking up on that. No one's talking about it. Kobbie Mainoo stayed on the pitch. And stayed on the pitch with Bruno Fernandes at the same time. So maybe we drop Bruno to 6 and tell him to pick out them passes and play them balls and let Kobbie Mainoo run forward. I don't know. Ruben can figure out this and still salvage something, I feel. But I do believe that there is a way around it still for Kobbie and Ruben Amorim. But it just depends what bad blood there is now and how far down the line we are with this fallout. Because there has to be a fallout. In terms of Ruben Amorim on what was annoying him at Grimsby. So these are some of the snippets from Ruben Amorim's press conference earlier on. And you tell me, from listening to this, what you think of this manager and where you're at with him right now. Are you confident? Amorim on what annoyed him at Grimsby. I think that is the hardest part of the defeat. Sometimes it is not the result. It is the way we lost that game or drew that game. It is the small things. Fighting for the ball, running, so on and so forth. Sometimes if you are in one way, if you have this kind of behaviour, you have to understand that sometimes you have good things and the other side of the coin. Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years. Not really filling us with much confidence there, Ruben. At the moment, I was really upset and very disappointed because I thought we had a very good pre-season. Now it's a new match and I'm focusing on that one. Again, every time we lose like that, I will react like that. Sometimes I love being with my players. Sometimes I don't feel like being with them. That's just how I am in the moment. I was frustrated. So again, frustrated is what Ruben is saying there with his players. But sometimes he wants to be with the players. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he wants to be at Manchester United. Sometimes he doesn't. He doesn't know, I don't feel, what he wants at the moment. That's how that comes across for me. In his programme notes, a lot of people have been bringing up this as well. Ruben Amorim in his matchday programme versus Burnley. Good afternoon and welcome back to Old Trafford. Today, as we welcome Scott Parker and his Burnley side, we need to give a response after Wednesday night's cup fixture. I can only say to our supporters that I am sorry. The better team on the night won the game and we got what we deserved. Everybody has to do better. Today, we have to show intensity from the start. We need to go out onto the pitch and show how we are capable of playing, because the only way to fix this is by winning games. Damn right we need to win games, Ruben. That is the only way that anybody's going to stop talking about you in a negative way. I've heard pundits today talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming back to Manchester United. Obviously, last night he was sacked by Besiktas, and obviously Jose Mourinho was also sacked by Fenerbahce last night as well. Or was it this morning? I can't remember now. So a lot of people talking about him just not surviving. Every time I listen to someone today, you know, when you listen to people, you listen to interviews or podcasts, things like that, other people talking, you're like, no, I'm fully convinced, we've got to give Ruben time. And then everyone starts laying out the issues that we've got with Ruben. And a lot of these journalists, as much as we despise them at times for making up certain stories and making things sound a lot worse than what they are, or likewise vice versa with making something sound better than what it is with their own agendas and narratives, they do know what happens. And we as fans as well are in the same boat. We know where this is going with Ruben. We know where Manchester United are going to end up. It's going to end up by letting another manager go. Because as soon as these stories come out, as soon as these noises come out about players finding it difficult under Ruben Amorim, players losing confidence, these leaks, they come out from the players. And we thought we'd eradicated all of this, and bang, here we go. All of a sudden, United are in the mire, and leaks are coming out again about Ruben Amorim, his tactics. The player's not confident with these players. Why did we even bring these players in? Why is Ruben playing these players ahead of me? All of this sort of reporting comes out again, and all of the noises start to build up and up and up, and we get to the point where it's untenable and the manager's gone. The only way, and this is going to need Kobbie Mainoo with us this season, because I don't think United will look at this and go, right, we're out the Carabao Cup now. There's could be another 5 games from this point off our schedule. We don't need another midfielder. We can handle it with Agate, Bruno and Casemiro. And we haven't got the headache of Kobbie Mainoo bitching about his game time to his agents, or vice versa. His agent telling him to bitch about it. This will get you the move. This will get you the money. You should be on just as much as Casemiro. You should be on more than Ahmad and Lenny Yoro, because, oh shit, no, wait a minute. No, you shouldn't be. But we're going to say this anyway because you've had a few games for England. Yeah, that's his agency. That's what you're up against. That's gone. And United could make that decision just like that and say, see you later, we don't have that problem anymore. But then you're losing a extremely good player in Kobbie Mainoo and a real option for United. Effectively, from last season, you could say he's our only 8. Played at 8, played at 10. I still think he's a better 10 than he is an 8. If you are saying to Kobbie Mainoo, you're in a certain area of the pitch and you don't have to track all the way back, then maybe he is a good player. Could Kobbie Mainoo be a number 6 at Manchester United? Could you transform him into that? Does he want to play at number 6? If he doesn't want to play at number 6, then you've got another problem. Well, ultimately, you've got a player there that doesn't want to be at Man United right now under this manager. They're the facts. We know this. This has come out in public. It's about Ruben Amorim. Simple. Because he only wants a loan. If it was Man United, he would have wanted a permanent deal. And everybody has said all the way from the get-go in this that Kobbie Mainoo only wants a loan away from Manchester United. Nothing else. That's it. So why are Manchester United not letting this happen? Well, we need the player. And it clearly shows to me that United are trying to keep hold of Kobbie Mainoo here, despite Ruben Amorim not using him or him having an issue with Ruben Amorim. And effectively that will spell the end of Ruben more than Kobbie. It's always the manager that goes first. We know this. Let's get some more comments in, please. Another super chat from Sasha. Sasha says, this was the second time he threatened to leave. I think he was not fully committed to United. This threatening has created uncertainty in players and fans. Graham, also with a super chat, thank you guys, says, how about making yourself indispensable to the manager by putting the work in, Kobbie? Pretty much like what Troy Deeney said. And Troy Deeney pretty much put Alex Crook in his place on TalkSport earlier on. Why does Kobbie Mainoo warrant in this Manchester United side from the get-go, was what he was saying. Look, just get your head down and work. Simple. And you will get the game time. You will get into Tuchel's team. I think Ruben, as stubborn as he is, and as stubborn as he is with his system, I still think he will find a way of moving players into where... I think Kobbie Mainoo can play with Bruno Fernandes. I do. It would be exciting to watch. I don't think it's the ideal formation for them two to play. But what's he got to bleeding lose right now? Because every time he puts somebody else in who he thinks is going to work, or in his head is going to be the key and the answer, he falls flat on his face and we end up getting beat or not winning again. Look, you know the record. We're going into this weekend's game against Burnley off the back of 7 wins in 29 in the Prem. If we make it 7 wins in 30 in the Prem, Amorim is out of the door. I am fully convinced of that, and I won't really have an argument with it. I don't want it to happen, but I'll understand why it's happening. He can only win games now. That's it. And to start the season off, yes, Arsenal's a tough game. Fulham, Grimsby, Burnley, and no wins? No one. Everybody talked about the start of the season. You cannot go 4 games unbeaten, 4 games without a win into City and Chelsea. You can't do that with the disruption that's going on in this squad right now. You've got to bed in a new goalkeeper in that time and possibly another midfielder because Kobbie's left. Or you are hamstrung and you're 1 injury away from absolute disaster and hauling someone in from the academy because you've let Kobbie go and not bring another midfielder in. A Casemiro or Bruno Fernandes gets injured. It'll be ironic, won't it? You'll probably get an injury to Bruno Fernandes now if Kobbie leaves. In fact, do you think Kobbie is going to leave? Get into the comment section on this, please, everybody. Do you think Kobbie Mainoo is going to leave Manchester United? The game against Burnley is going to be fascinating. It really is, because Ruben there has given it the big one in the programme notes. Are we going to get a reaction from the players? That's another thing as well. Also in this, I was mentioning it yesterday, but something extra for you all. I've created my own fantasy league. And it is game by game. So cash prizes on offer. In the link at the top of the live chat right there is my own fantasy football game. Pick 6 players between the 2 clubs, Burnley and Manchester United. Prize pot of £100 in there. Top 3 get money as well in it. So it's an instant win off the fantasy football rules for just 1 game. Who wants to go a whole season and wait? This is about the community. You've asked for it. I've given it. We've got our own fantasy football game. So click on that link in the live chat, everybody, and join us for a live feed tomorrow at the game where you can chat about it while it's actually going on. Constant updates throughout the game. And that is our brand new offering over on Big Up and the Fantasy Football app. I've added this in to the game. It's dead easy to play. It is simple. It's only £2 to enter as well, and you could be winning £100. There's a few people in there already right now. The leaderboard is up there already. Obviously, the game hasn't started, so none of them scores are there. But get your name in and get onto that, please, everybody, and get involved tomorrow. It's going to be really exciting to kickstart this and see how it goes. Okay, a couple of updates. Just checking the news as we've been live now. So anything that's come up. Ruben Amorim on Antony and what we were talking about earlier on. Real Betis and Manchester United keep negotiating every day for Antony, but still waiting for the green light. Man United today insist on selling Antony rather than loaning him out with high requests. Betis trying all the best efforts to make it happen. On the Antony story, by the way, I forgot to say, and sorry about this, I forgot to say earlier on when we was talking about that 50-50 ownership model of Antony. In that, there is also reports saying that both clubs have had to take time apart over negotiating because United still want £40 million. Good on you, United. 40 million for Garnacho has been moaned about. 40 million for Rasmus eventually. Well, that's decent. But 40 million for Antony right now, I think that's an amazing deal for Manchester United to get out of this transfer. And if they do manage to get this over the line, then credit to them. I still think Betis are going to try and work something in here. So it's one to definitely keep an eye on now. I think this is going to be the one that's spoken about the most when it comes to transfers and possible exits. So yeah, let's see how this develops. Let's see what happens now with this and everything that's going on with Antony, both sides of it. Betis and what they're doing. United holding out. Hopefully they do manage to hold out. According to Ben Jacobs, several European clubs wanted Mainoo and Al Nassr. Yep, Mainoo is a hot property right now. He is a wanted man because of this news. Ollie isn't coming, Mourinho isn't coming, Southgate isn't coming, Howe isn't coming. Thanks for that, JP. I could have said that myself. I don't think anybody's expecting them to come in anyway. Adam, the only threat to Ruben Amorim's future at United is his losing record, which is why I said he needed to win tomorrow, mates. We cannot go 30 games and only 7 wins. No, we can't. Make sure you please put a like on the video, everybody, as well. We're well over 500, so thank you again. News has been a bit mismatched today. It's all over the place. Just to go over everything again in terms of the SENNE Lammens situation. We had an agreement in place and then Galatasaray came in, which kind of puts everything up in the air. They spoke to Antwerp. They spoke to the player. SENNE Lammens has said he only wants United. United, though, have been asked for more money now by Antwerp. And in desperation, after what's happened this season, United are going to go forward and make this happen. 25 million euros is the word. That's why I'm sporting the Manchester United goalkeeping kit today, the green one. You can obviously get that as well on OK Jerseys, so check that out, everybody. Link is in the description for that. And, of course, will be up on the screen on the QR code as well. So that is where we're at. So obviously, we brought you the news on the outgoing side of things with Antony just then and Jadon Sancho. 2 more players there to look at. Malacia on loan. Looks like it's moving close. And, of course, obviously, we've seen the back of Garnacho. He's in London having his medical. Apparently, he's past that medical now. So that is finalised. One reason I wanted Ruben Amorim to stay as well, by the way, is because I wanted to see the back end of these players. So if Ruben did go, at least we know we're not going to see Antony, Malacia, Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford. I don't know now because he's only on loan at Barcelona, isn't he? But the word from Manchester United is everything that Ruben's doing is fully backed by the club and the right decision for the club. So if there is a loanee out there that United, under Ruben Amorim, we're going to get rid of, it would still happen if Ruben was sacked. But Sancho's contract's ended anyway. If he goes on loan, he's still out the football club. Obviously, we know that Garnacho is officially gone now. Thank God that's out of the way. And so that's them 2 gone, 2 of the biggest issues. Malacia, that will take care of itself in time. He's no drama. And Antony does look like it's going to be a permanent deal. Rasmus Hojlund, we're waiting for the go-ahead on this one. I don't think it's going to be a million miles away. I cannot see Leipzig getting Rasmus Hojlund. I really can't. Sam in the chat just dropped a super chat in there. Right at the end, he says, start heating tomorrow. It can't be any worse than Bainday, who can't catch balls from corners. Onana, who can't save penalties, catches, crosses, and can't even catch a cold. Fair point, mate. And there's not going to be many people in the chat that disagree with you, is there? Definitely not. I'm going to wrap things up there. That is our Friday night show all done. The content and the look of the channel over the weekend is going to change up some. I've got new things coming in and a bit of announcement to bring up as well this weekend. So, yeah, stay tuned, particularly on Sunday as well. So, that is all to come, everybody. Thank you for watching. Mods, fantastic job in there. Please do click on the link in the description. I want to try and get as many people onto this fantasy game as possible. Let's try and get our very own winner through our very own fantasy game. The link in the description and in the live chat there. Top link if you are watching later on in the description, and if you're live right now, it's also there. Click on it, get involved. It's £2 to play in it, and you could win. I'll be part of the actual prize pots of £100. So please do get involved in that, everybody. And tomorrow we will be talking the match bingo setup for the game against Burnley as well. We'll concentrate on that then. For now, that is everything, everyone. I hope you have a great evening. I will see you all tomorrow bright and early. I don't think we're going to get any news tonight, but then again, we have got that embargoed version. So I'll stay up late just in case. But let's see what comes first of all. That's it for tonight, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow, unless something big breaks.